Missouri.
Speed limit reduced ahead.
Coming out of Missouri, headed towards Kansas City. We're in St. Louis now, coming up from the south, coming from Sikeston. Get ready to get on I-255, loop over to I-270. And we'll jump on I-70 and go over to Kansas City. A little bit different view of St. Louis than what I've shown before.
In 3/4 of a mile, take exit 196 on the right, onto I-270 toward Kansas City. Take the first exit on the right, onto I-270.
You guys saw how quickly that came to a stop. That's why following distance is so important. Good morning, everybody. So, I've talked about pre-trip several times, and it's more than just your inspection at the beginning of the day. There's also, you should be checking during your trip, after your trip, when you finish your day. I've been noticing a shake in the steering. See, there's a wear pattern right here. This tire is not wearing correctly. Looks like I got an alignment issue. Over here on this side, saw it earlier this morning, though it may not be visible right now because of how the tire is rotated. What I've been noticing is this tire was wearing on this side, that tire is wearing on the outside, but it's also been smoothing out and swapping sides. So I'm not absolutely positive that it's alignment. It may be something else. In addition to that, I've got this tire back here. It's starting to wear funny here. You can see it goes all the way down. The truck will be going into the shop, and I will be sorting this out. I've got some miter cutting there, that's not a big deal. And I've got a chunk back here that's missing. I'm gonna have to have them look at this power steering leak again, because I've already had that addressed once. And you can see where it's seeping right here. They replaced the hose clamp here because it used to be one of the spring style, and they replaced this hose clamp and it's still leaking. You can see where it's been dripping down onto the power steering gearbox. Correctly pick them up. No. Alright, so today just got really interesting. I mean, it's part of the job, it's not a big deal. But our PeopleNet system went down, so no ELD, which means I'm on paper. Not a big deal. We, as commercial drivers, you are required to be able to fill out a paper log and work with it, keep it legal. We're no longer going to Kansas City. I've now been rerouted to headquarters in Lincoln. So, getting a bit more miles out of this. Turns out that they didn't have anybody in Missouri to pick up the load. So, off to Lincoln we go. Now, a couple of times today, you've already seen me talk about people not merging correctly. And in both of those instances, one I honked at, the other one I just simply said something and did the best I could to change lanes in an emergency move because he forced his way in. The big part in that is when you're coming into the interstate on the on-ramp, legally you are required to yield to any oncoming traffic. Don't stop on the on-ramp. You're supposed to hit the shoulder. And you are to do your best to enter as close to highway speed as possible. If necessary, slow down and wait. Wait for a safe gap to move in. That is proper merging. What you'll see a lot is a vehicle or a group of vehicles will come down an on-ramp with the expectation the traffic is just simply going to get out of their way. Doesn't matter whether it's a big truck or a Mazda Miata. Hardly anybody yields like they're supposed to. Now, as far as pre-trip is concerned, because I really preach pre-trip and mid-trip inspection, post-trip, I've had a shake in the steering for about 4 weeks now, but I had no wear on the tires to identify where the shake was coming from. That makes it very hard to diagnose. It makes it very hard to write up with a shop. They're not going to sit there and chase shocks and any number of other things that can create a shake, on top of which the roads themselves can emulate a shake. So it's hard to identify whether you actually have a shake or if it's the road. What kind of merge was that? And I have been religiously going through my truck looking for tire wear, looking for worn shocks or blown bushings, any signs of what would be creating the shake. Haven't found a thing. Yesterday, during one of my mid-trip walk-arounds, I started noticing cupping on my passenger side steer. That's the first indication I've had that there is actually an issue. Well, as of this morning, I now have cupping on both steer tires and one drive tire is wearing. But I can't tell if it's an alignment or if it's something else. The key note here is I knew that there was a possibility of an issue, but until I had wear, I couldn't identify that there was actually an issue. I now have wear, it's immediately going into the shop. I'll get it fixed. Hopefully it's not a long time in the shop, but we'll see. Alright, here we go with another scale house. We're in Nebraska now. This scale house is kind of notorious. At least for me. Every time I come through here, I get stopped for a level 1. Never fails. Closed. Okay, doesn't matter. And supposedly, we have a new truck entrance now. It should be here.
Turn at the first right.
It's good to see it. They finally got this finished.